Okay. Obviously the camera was on bright, but Kovalova served that. Let's watch this point out. Oh, a good offensive lob there. I like that. Let's take a point. I bet we'll probably, I'm just going to go forward a little bit more, see if we can get the other camera angle. And they're not going to give us the other camera angle, so I'm going to move it back. Here we go. Yeah, like they really kind of didn't give great camera angles on this for us to see where that ball bounced. I can't. It's off of that frame and it's post that frame. So I was wondering how deep that bounce was. So let's back this up and go all the way through this. I'm just going to start this off from the serve. Good third shot drop. 2 good resets. Yeah, I just want to see this. Okay, so let's discuss this. We're going to be talking about blocker workhorse. Okay? And if you've watched any of these videos, it normally comes up at least once per every game. So at this point, when the ball is here, who on the Smith side is the blocker and the workhorse? It is Smith is right here, and they're the blocker. And I'm going to use blue. And Kovalova is the workhorse, and therefore she should be a little bit off the line, giving space, and also covering this middle line right there. I'm making that real big. In my opinion, she should actually be a little bit further to the her left, in my opinion, but it's not really going to matter in this point. So when Bright makes this decision to hit this ball cross court, even though she's cross court middle, you can see where that ball has gone and where its impact. What does that mean? That means, as we know, that Waters is now the blocker, and I'm going to do blue. Bright is the workhorse. Problem is Bright hasn't gone back. Where should Bright be? Bright should be about here. And if you watch Waters and Ben Johns, she is very, very good about this. She literally hits the ball, steps back, gives Ben space, then comes back, goes back, comes back, goes back. And that's the footwork of being a great world-class player. But in this scenario, when I'm going to leave those marked there just so we know where she is, where she should have been, and you can see the one great thing that I love about this is I'm going to back this up. Watch Annalie Waters. I'm going to mark it. So just for those of you who don't know who she is, person in red right there. That's who we are going to be focusing on. Let me erase that. Okay, we're still leaving the lines so we know where things are going to move forward to. Watch her as Annalie Waters goes and gets her feet set and gets low and literally hot like she is. I'm going to block this ball. If this ball gets sped up, she sees it going to the forehand. She is ready for this speed up. That's all she's focusing on. So what is her job? Is she's leaning forward on the balls of her feet. She knows what her job is. And her job, I'm going to just erase this red. We're going to use yellow. Her job is to guard this. That is her job. Anything also that comes over here, that's her job. So if it comes quick from here, this direction, she's got it. Okay? Let's clear this up. Make sure it's perfectly clear. I'm going to have to erase these, unfortunately. So what does that mean? That means Bright's job has to cover everything here, here, back. You can't really see it. But everything, if there was a lob behind Waters, that is all Bright. And so that exact scenario happens where Kovalova lobs the ball. And in my opinion, she sees that Bright is not positioned correctly. So she goes, cool, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it right over in the middle of the two of them. So they both run. Now, Bright gets it, at least tries to get it, and doesn't hit a very good shot, partially because I don't think she was in position, and she didn't immediately move when she should have. Watch how late she is. They're almost in sync. It's like, who's going to get it? And I think if Bright had reacted faster, Annalie Waters wouldn't have tried for it so hard and kind of gotten in her way. I'm not saying that they collided. I'm just saying you can see how she kind of was like, hey, I'm trying to hit this ball. Yeah. And if, I know I erased my earlier marks, but I'm going to put them back. So this is where she is. This is where she should have been. And that 2.5, 3 feet, as we play this out, how much closer to that ball would she have been if she had had that distance? It's, I think she would have maybe even taken it out of the air or easily gotten back before that ball bounced. And if she'd been there, then Waters wouldn't have been running in her way. So from this camera angle, I can tell you Waters, knowing that she's the blocker and didn't feel the need to, hey, my teammate's not doing their job, she would have started here, right? This is where she was. She would have dropped. That's wrong. I appreciate the fix on that. But she would have just dropped right here, gone back to mid-court. I'm going to use blue. And would have been basically there. It's kind of the net's kind of in the way, but she would be right here in the middle. I'm going to draw it right here. So she'd be kind of on this line right in the middle, let her teammate hit another drop back, and then they would be ready for either an attack, and they'd work their way back up to the net. But unfortunately, complete breakdown, in my opinion, is it's Bright's incorrect position led to Smith and Kovalova being able to attack with an attack lob, forcing the team back, and then they couldn't even hit a drop shot even into the court back, which is at their level kind of surprising. So I think that they saw the bad position and decided to attack on it. Well, that was a good point. Hopefully you guys learned a lot from that. Let's move on to the next one.